improved social interaction when using augmented reality. So this is also a very, I find, interesting thing, because when you expect students working with smartphones, each and one on their own, two studies also found out that social interaction can be boosted by augmented reality. Of course, there are also some negative effects. For example, information and cognitive overload. When you imagine you have additionally to the real-world information also virtual information that you see on your small smartphone or tablet screen, it can be easily confusing for some learners, for some students. Also, the distraction of attention is a negative aspect of using augmented reality, or could be a negative aspect. For example, if you put a virtual pyramid in the middle of the room here, and you're at home, and your cat or your dog is straying around and walks through the virtual pyramid, then this could be very distracting. When you just use a computer screen or a television screen and another 3D modeling program, for example, then no direct distraction can be seen on screen. Using different types of hardware, for example, head-mounted displays, can also cause in some effects like motion sickness, but these are only or mostly seen in a virtual reality context and not augmented reality context. There is a difference between these two things. Well, as we are here now at the Creativity Conference today, I also thought it would be interesting to see how can augmented reality be used in a creative way, for example, in education and especially in math education. And therefore, I would like to show you a few examples I found, a few augmented reality apps, starting with HP Reveal. HP Reveal is a smartphone or tablet augmented reality app, where each and everyone can, for example, use a picture or a body or something else, a real-world object, and turn it into a marker. Another person with the same app can then later go to this object and investigate the virtual overlay that the first person has put to this real-world object. So, but both have to have the same HP Reveal app. Another interesting thing is called World Brush, and this is a GPS-based augmented reality app. It works like this. It has a GPS marker, and when you go to a specific GPS location, you can then draw with your smartphone some art or some writing or whatever, and another person with the same app can later go to this GPS location and visit your art, and this is stored permanently in World Brush. Well, and in educational context, there is a ready-to-use app from Google. It's called Google Expeditions. And Google Expeditions works like this. You have some predefined content made by Google or by other teachers. And a teacher in class can then host a session where, for example, the solar system is shown in the middle of the classroom. And every student attending this expedition can then visit or look at the same object as the teacher. So it's some kind of collaboration tool, and very interesting, I think, for education. Here in Linz, we are also strongly connected with GeoGebra, and GeoGebra also has an own augmented reality application. And up to date, it has let's say two different functions. The first is modeling and displaying ready-made 3D models. For example, this paper bin can be modeled by different mathematical functions or bodies, and then compared to the real-world object. And the second thing is that you can also import in the augmented reality app a 3D model from GeoGebra and alter it, for example, with sliders. So you can investigate how changes the properties of the body when you change some length or the height or whatever. So creativity or motivational boosters in augmented reality, but there is another issue. Why augmented reality? It's a very contemporary issue. So it's a topic that developed over the last decade or had a boost in the last decade. For example, if we do a very basic search in Google Scholar with the search terms augmented reality, mathematics and education, first in text and later in title search, you see in both graphs, which were updated yesterday, that we have a bump in 2010. So there was a significant rise in papers published per year. Okay, why additional research? The literature review also shows some lack of research in recent augmented reality device systems. So especially mobile use of augmented reality is not researched so far in depth. And the literature review also highlights other gaps, like for example, how is the immersion working for students, and how can we tackle, for example, the negative consequences. My future plans now look like this. I'm at the very beginning, and I have to distinguish my research questions at first. And I would like to concentrate first on the teacher's perspective. So the ultimate goal would be to provide a teacher training program to promote augmented reality, especially in Austria. And the other thing would be to look at the GeoGebra augmented reality app and ask myself, how should the layout of the augmented reality app look like to enhance the user experience, for example. Then I would have to set my methodology, run pilot studies, and finally adapt my research questions and run my studies. But this is in the far future, I guess. So thanks for your attention, and I hope there are some questions.